Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless, God bless. And today I want to cover the case of Rasheem Carter. Rasheem Carter was a young man that was killed and murdered last year. According to the sources, it was mysteriously. And he was killed last year, 25-year-old, and out of Taylorville, Mississippi. And I have the audio. I'm going to display the audio, play the audio. And at this time, in this moment, we're going to just say, we're going to pray for his mother, condolences to his mother, and rest in power to Rasheem Carter. This is a young man that's why I keep telling people, be aware of your surroundings. There's a warning to be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of who's watching. You never know who's watching you. And don't be so into your phones that you cannot know what's going on around you, and be aware of your, especially when you step out the door. I always advise people, even in my videos, to pray consistently when you step out of your door, and to pray to when you step into a supermarket, or to pray when you go into a school, or you pray, consistently pray. And be mindful of your surroundings. Don't always be plugged into your phone at all times. And always keep your phones charged, just in case of emergency. You never know what's going to happen around you. You never know what can happen. But let me get into the audio and the case. This is the audio of, and big up to who's sharing this audio, Vel B Reacts. This is the YouTube podcaster series called Veal B Reacts. Big up to them. So I'm just sharing their content. I'm sharing their audio. So let me continue with the audio and listen to this audio concerning Rasheem Carter, who was murdered by white supremacist group out of Taylorville, Mississippi. Check it out.
In Taylorsville, Mississippi. The last communication his mother would have with Rasheem was on October the 1st and 2nd of 2022. Having worked 9 hours on Saturday, he was trying to get a ride from work in Taylorsville back to the Motel 8 and Laura, where he was living temporarily. He was a contract worker at the Georgia Pacific plant in Taylorsville, Mississippi. But on his first weekend in October, the coworker he usually rode with was upset with Rasheem and told him he wouldn't allow him to ride with him anymore. The next day, he disappeared, leaving no signs behind beyond the cashing out of $500 from his ATM debit card account on October.
You see, always try to be independent, because you never know when somebody could turn on you. You never know when somebody can see. When he was trying to get a ride with his friend turned on him and said, listen, I don't no longer want to ride with you. Always strive, and I tell people, I tell my kids this too, always try to be independent. Learn how to stand on your own too, and don't rely on people to give you a ride. Don't rely on people to do certain things for you. Yes, once in a while we need help, but try to be independent and try to strive on your own. Let me continue with the audio of the case of Rasheem Carter. And this is the audio of VLB Reacts. Check it out, y'all, on the YouTube.
4th. The police report says Rasheem went to the Taylorsville police station on both October 1st and 2nd and told the police about his concerns. The report also says he told his mother on the phone that he had seen 3 trucks full of white men after him. People for a ride, offering to pay them for gas, but had no success. October 2nd was the last day that Rasheem spoke with his mother. He was calling from inside of the Dollar Tree in Taylorsville, and a family member said that Rasheem was in panic mode and that...
And this was last year. Now they now displaying this case. They now have this case on display. This case happened, his murder was last year, 2022, and they now trying to uproot this case to reveal what's going on. Big up to the protesters out of Taylorville. As you can see, they have a display of attorney activist Benjamin Crump, and alongside attorney Benjamin Crump is the mother of Rasheem Carter, the mother of Rasheem Carter, which is named Tiffany Carter out of Taylorville, Mississippi. And his mother, let me just play the audio because his mother was saying a lot of things in the audio. She was actually saying in this audio, that Rasheem contacted her a few times and warned his mother that I'm being followed by 3 white men. I believe 3 white supremacists in vehicles. I'm being followed. I'm being watched. I don't know what it is, Mom. I'm being watched. He's warning his mother that he's being followed and watched. Now, as this case continues, he's actually going. And as the case continues, he's actually going to report to the police, and he's actually going to consistently tell his mother, keep in contact with his mother on the phone, and let her know that he's being watched. He's being watched by 3 white male, and he's telling his mother if he doesn't know what to do, let me continue playing the audio and let the audio speak for itself. And this is the audio of Vel B Reacts. Yeah, let me just play the audio and let the audio speak for itself. And big up to them because they did a great coverage of the Rasheem Carter case. Big up to VLB Reacts. Check it out, y'all.
Told his mom that he couldn't get a ride to his motel in Laurel, and additionally told her, and I quote, "If I come up missing, there are 3 trucks of white men after me." He also mentioned going into a store and quickly leaving when he heard the cashier say, "He's in here." Knowing that some select spots within the Pine Belt area are known as sundown towns and known to have the presence of white supremacist groups.
So, it goes to tell you that with white supremacy, and you have white supremacist groups in that town that actually work in cahoots. So, you see the man in the store told the 3 white men that walked in the store looking for Rasheem Carter that he's no longer here. So that man that run the grocery store is in cahoots with the white supremacy. He's part of the white supremacy group too. You have the and that in those certain towns, even back then when the time of Emmett Till, back in 1955 when he was murdered, that they had the certain and those towns in those times when the white Confederate flag was flying. You had the police officers that was part of the Klan. You had the white grocery store owners that was part of the Klan. You had the pharmacists that was part of the Klan. Let's continue.
The Aryan nations and devotees of the KKK, Tiffany Carter was anxious to calm her son's fear and to get him to a safe place. During his last text message with his mom, Rasheem also named someone who worked with him that posed a threat to him and should be considered a person of interest, if not outright suspicious, if he should be harmed to any unusual extent.
You see that? Co-worker. Someone that worked with him. Someone that worked with him. That was actually considered part of the in cahoots with the people that murdered him. Somebody that worked with him. This is a case that I'm telling you, it happened last year, but it's relevant now. And I'm glad that it's being followed. Big up to large up to attorney activist Benjamin Crump and the protesters in the town of Taylorville that do not want to let this case be brushed underneath the carpet, because that's what they do. They brush underneath the carpet. These certain cases like this is brushed underneath the carpet. That's what the white supremacist groups do. They want to, in these certain towns that they do, these certain racist towns, they want to brush certain cases like this and forget about it and just keep going on with their life. Let me play this audio and let's unravel this audio and let's see what's going on.
And October the 1st, my son texted me. This was after him and I had gotten off the phone. He said, "Me and the owner of this company not seeing eye to eye, mama." His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he sent to me.
And then he went missing.
Rasheem left the store on Sunday after that message, and his mom called.
That was the voice of his mother, Tiffany Carter, and also the voice of attorney activist Benjamin Crump. Let's continue.
Her best friend to go down to Taylorsville to pick up Rasheem. On Saturday, October 1st, Rasheem went to the Taylorsville Police Department and told the dispatcher that someone was trying to harm him. The Taylorsville Police Chief, Gabe Horn, said Rasheem made a report and was asked if he wanted to press charges, but Rasheem told them no. He instead asked for a ride back to his motel in Laurel, and he also asked for a phone charger. The police officers responded and told Rasheem that they could only help him get to the motel in Taylorsville because Laurel was out of their jurisdiction. But Rasheem didn't want to go there. Currently, there's no account of where Rasheem slept that Saturday night. However, Rasheem came back to downtown Taylorsville on the second day, which was Sunday, October the 2nd, around 5:50 a.m. He was walking around and talking on the phone for over an hour when the phone went dead, and no one had a charger for him. That same morning, Rasheem returned to the police station and asked for help. And despite Rasheem's appeal, again, the police officers dismissed him and told him they couldn't help him and he couldn't stay around the police station and that they
Yeah, they couldn't help him. Why? Because they feel that he was paranoia, and they're gonna say he was on drugs, and he was not himself. He was just paranoia, and he was on drugs. That's what they're gonna say, and that's how they treat us in certain tongues like that. They treat us like they're not gonna help you. Your phone is dead. That's why I always tell people to try to keep your phone charged. Try to keep your phone charged, but the phone is dead, and there's no one there to help him. No family around to help him, and he's in his town. But you think that somebody would lend a hand to help him. Nobody will lend a hand to help him because he's out of his jurisdiction. He's in Taylorville, but he's out of his jurisdiction, and he offered to get and he wanted to get help by the police, and they turned his back on him, and they didn't help him. But let's say if Rasheem Carter was a white male, they would have helped him, and they would have helped him to get where he gotta go. And because Rasheem is a black man, they didn't want to really help him, so they turned his back on him. They thought he was paranoia, and you know what they say? They stereotype. They say, "Oh, well, he's on drugs. He's paranoid." That's what they do. That's what white supremacists do. Let's continue the audio.
give him a ride to Laurel. His mother said they put him out. Rasheem then went to the JR Food Mart and asked for rides from anyone who would listen to him, with no success. Rasheem was last seen at the Dollar General in Taylorsville, Mississippi. The last time his mom, Tiffany Carter, spoke with her son was on the phone around 10:15 a.m. on Sunday, October the 2nd, and Rasheem's phone seemingly died around noon. A family friend finally arrived in Taylorsville around 1:30 or 2 o'clock p.m. that Sunday afternoon, but there was no sign of Rasheem. There was no word from Rasheem over the next 5 days. His family filed a missing persons report with the Laurel and Taylorsville police and with the sheriff's office. On October 7th of 2022, Taylorsville Police Department contacted Rasheem's mom, Tiffany Carter, and reported that they had searched for Rasheem but had not found him. On October the 8th, Tiffany Carter and her family organized the Carter.
Well, the police did a search for him to see if they could find Rasheem Carter, but not like a family's love. The family, not like a mother's love. The family and Tiffany Carter, his mother, decided to say, you know what? The police are gonna find them. We're gonna find him. We're gonna search for him, and we're gonna see if we can find him. So it's not like a mother's love to reach out and step out her way and say, listen, I'm gonna find my son. You didn't find him, but I'm gonna do it better. I'm gonna try to find him the best way I can. I reach out to get help from you, but I guess you couldn't find him, so I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna look for my son. Yeah, mother's love. Let's continue.
Family support search team with 20 members in all. They went to Taylorsville to search for themselves, passing out missing persons leaflets with Rasheem's picture. They looked for leads at the JR Food Mart, Dollar General, gas stations, and the Taylorsville Police Department. The family was told that there was no video footage of Rasheem by the Taylorsville Police Department. However, during their search, they quickly learned otherwise. Rasheem's aunt said that on October 8th, members of the family went into the Dollar General and asked if anyone had looked at the videotape footage from the store's camera and was told no. She was quoted as saying, "They let my sister into the back room and they went through about 2 hours of footage going back from October 8th to October 2nd. She went on to say, "My sister recorded it on her phone. You can see my nephew walking all up and down the aisles. He's pacing. He's on the..."
That's why I say, people, be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. And I'm going to give a warning to people that, especially women, that jog and want to exercise. And when you're running, run during the day. If you're going to exercise, run during the day where there's lights and there's people around. Goes for the men too. Run with, if you feel like you're being followed and feel like you're being targeted, run where there's lights. Do not exercise at night, overnight. Do not exercise late at night where there's no lights and there's nobody around, especially if you feel like you're being targeted. Run where there's people around and run and exercise. Go to a gym. If you feel like you're being targeted, go where there's people that's populated around you. That's my warning to those who like to exercise late. Try to be aware. So you can have witnesses. Just in case something happens to you, you can have witnesses. If you're being targeted, report it. And if you're being targeted, be wise and be where there's lights and where there's population of people. That could possibly help you. I don't know these days because it seems to me people that's plugged into their phones that just want to, if you're in trouble, they just want to videotape you getting assaulted or just have their phones out just recorded so they can put it on their social media. But be aware of your surroundings, people. That's my warning to you, and always keep your phones charged just in case of emergency. Let's continue with the audio.
Oh, he's not buying anything. It was like he was hiding out. We can see him walking out of the store, but it only captures so much, and that's it. It looks like he's heading back in the direction of the police station, probably a quarter of a mile. Some of Rasheem's search party group talked with Officer Brad Wright, who was cooperative until he said the group was acting like he was trying to cover up something. He was very defensive until the family members assured him that they were not accusing him of anything. He was then quoted as telling the family about Rasheem coming into the station and asking them if they had Uber service.
See, like I remember I said earlier in this audio that they're all in cahoots. He knew that those men probably kind of captured Rasheem Carter. They knew it, but they're all in cahoots. The supremacy groups are all in cahoots. Like this give me the vibes of Emmett Till back in 1955. How the woman lied and said that Emmett Till whistled. But she knew that the man that she was with is in cahoots with the Klan and in cahoots with the supremacy group that murdered and killed Emmett Till. Same thing. No different. 68 years later, and it's no difference. Let's continue with the audio.
Said that their response was no, that they didn't, and so Rasheem went back outside and sat on the bench. During the search for Rasheem, the family stated that they saw rebel flags and encountered a few rude people during their search, but it didn't stop them. One family member was quoted as saying, "We cried, we prayed, we searched. Weeks passed by, and nothing more was done to help me and my family find Rasheem." Video from various businesses show Rasheem in Taylorsville for about 14 hours before he disappeared. 1 month later, authorities contacted the family about a deer camera photo of someone believed to be Carter walking on private property outside of Taylorsville, Mississippi. The family confirmed that it was Rasheem in the photo, which had a timestamp of...
When you're being followed And when you're being targeted, and you know you're being targeted, you come to desperate measures. Now, they said their camera in the forest area of Taylorville, Mississippi, caught Rasheem Carter in the woods. Now, when you're being targeted, nobody believes you. And nobody was able to find him, but he was actually hiding up for his life. Because these men, you never know with the clan, you never know with the supremacy group, in this violent supremacy group, demonic violent supremacy group. You never know. They know where you go, so they look to target you and they look to grab you. You never know. So we got to be mindful of that. Let's continue with the audio, and I'm going to give you my last comments on this.
4:25 p.m. on October 2nd. On November 2nd of 2022, someone found skeletal remains on a private land deep in the woods off of Highway 37 South, as well as his clothing and a few of his personal items on private property in Taylorsville, Mississippi. Rasheem's family said that the private property is in no way where Rasheem could have wandered into by himself. According to the family, police found a Super 8 hotel key, Carter's wallet, along with his Chime ATM card, and what appeared to be a cell phone battery, but not his cell phone. They also stated that $500 had been withdrawn.
Now, Rasheem Carter is a young man that was murdered by, and I'm going to say it. I know that I think when you look up this case you Google it, and you look at the Rasheem Carter case, they're going to say that murder is unrevealed at this moment, at this time, because they're doing a further investigation. Rasheem Carter was murdered and killed by white supremacist group in Taylorville, Mississippi. He was murdered. And as you look further into this case, and as you look and you Google Rasheem Carter, and you look on the images, you're gonna see that they found his remains. They found his remains, and his skull was severed. They severed his skull. They scattered his remains in the forest in Taylorville, Mississippi. Same thing what happened to Emmett Till in 1955 when they threw his body in Money, Mississippi in the Tallahassee River in Mississippi. They found his remains too and the police department said, oh, that's not his remains. That's somebody else. Same thing here. When they found the remains of Rasheem Carter, they're saying that that's his remains, but we don't know how he got murdered. We don't know who murdered him. And I'm saying, in my opinion, it's the white supremacist group out of Taylorville, Mississippi. Now, Mississippi, the white supremacist groups are still flying that Confederate flag. I call it the flag of hate, because of what black people went through in Mississippi during the civil rights and the segregated times and during slavery. Now, the Klan, like I said before, the Klan is connected in Mississippi, like how it used to be back then, and it's still connected now. Because they went into the store, the grocery store, and the man said that that's connected to the Klan, like I say, connected to the Klan, white malicious group, that they couldn't, that he doesn't know what happened to Rasheem. He knew what happened to Rasheem. He was murdered by those men that he knew that murdered him. Now, I'm going to pray. I'm going to consistently pray for the justice of Rasheem Carter. Condolences to his mother, Tiffany Carter. And all right, rest in power to Rasheem Carter. Now, this is definitely a white supremacist group that did this in Taylorville, Mississippi. Possibly the Klan. These are terrorists. They're terrorists. Klan, white supremacists are terrorists. I believe that they killed Rasheem to make a point. Let's connect the 2 and 2 together. They have immigrants coming to the U.S. They have certain cities are giving them help. White supremacist groups do not like that. They hate that. They hate that. They want to see white supremacists prevail. So what they do? This case happened last year. And the white supremacist group murdered Rasheem Carter. Now I want to follow up on this case. And as you can see, this was evil, wicked, demonic thing that happened to Rasheem Carter. Wicked and demonic. I couldn't ignore it. It'd be wrong for me to ignore it. So, as time goes on, and this case is being unraveled, and being investigated, full investigation, and I pray for the safety, and I pray for the cover, God that covers over attorney, activist Benjamin Crump during this case. Because we all know the history of Mississippi. I know, now we all know. I know because I'm conscious. I know the history of Mississippi. You know, some of our conscious brothers and sisters know the history of Mississippi. It's wicked as evil. And the white Confederate flag is still being waved by, white supremacists in history. Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general in the South, consistently flown that flag. I don't know why the flag is being flown in Mississippi. Has a bad history behind that flag, the Confederate flag. And Robert E. Lee was behind that Confederate flag. He wanted to keep slavery alive. He wanted to keep slavery alive, and a reminder of slavery that we are inferior, that black people was inferior. And as you can see, as history continues, and it goes on to Emmett Till, this reminds me of a little bit of the Emmett Till case. Same thing. He was lynched. This was Benjamin Crump. He was lynched, just like Emmett Till was lynched. And his remains were thrown, and Emmett Till's remains were thrown in Money, Mississippi, in the Tallahassee River, in Money, Mississippi, in 1955. Same thing. And now today, 68 years later, Rasheem Carter remains is scattered all over Taylorville, Mississippi. His remains are being scattered all over. His skull severed, his body scattered. When someone found his remains in Money, Mississippi. I'm not Money, Mississippi. Taylorville, Mississippi. Excuse me. Taylorville, Mississippi. I want to follow up on this case. And I think more content needs to be put out on this case. And also big up to the content creators and the YouTube creators, content on Vilby Reacts. Because that was the audio that was just playing just now. Vilby Reacts. They're the one that shared the audio. And you could check them out on Vilby Reacts on YouTube. So this is Zacchaeus With another live word of the day, and the live word of the day is coming out of Romans chapter 13, verses 4. Keep far from false charge, and do not kill the innocent and the righteous, for I will not acquit the wicked. He will not acquit the wicked, meaning that the wicked will be revealed. The wicked will be revealed. The evil doers of iniquity will be revealed. And I believe that white supremacist group will be revealed, and they will not be acquitted. They will be revealed. And justice, I pray that justice for Rasheem Carter is served. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless, and I thank you for tuning in. God bless you.